goodness.
Yes, we're back, folks. It's Tuesday. Or second Monday for those out there. This is Debate Amongst Friends. I am the Professor John Gotti, and that guy right there looking for a man with a ponytail to return. He's that podcasting beast, Doc Leesner. Doc, how you doing?
Johnny, I wish I could be as hype as Dean Boxall, but I just don't got it in it. In me is just a hype ... bro machine that just can't reach that level. No. But I'm doing pretty good. Johnny, the king of Ranchi, the Troll Master, just a conqueror of his own fate. The newly formed Terminator, the cleaner.
Best podcasting machine. Tranquilo, el idolo, Doc. If you're a Packers fan, you must be hyped because your quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, the reigning, defending, undisputed National Football League most valuable player, is returning to the Green Bay Packers. Shout out to Tom Grassi for that hype moment. We knew it was going to happen.
He wasn't sitting out. Come on.
It was never a matter of when. Never a matter of if, only when. We kept saying this over and over again. He kept saying, well, he wants more money. No.
He turned down money.
It was never out the money. So Aaron Rodgers put up a Instagram post talking Last Dance. And of course, the internet sports world went insane. Doc, what's your take on this?
Man, Aaron said maybe Aaron just didn't want to deal with, I guess, mini camp. I mean, I know a lot of veterans, they just don't want to deal with mini camp. I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron was clearing up some injuries and he just didn't want to be on the report, right? He didn't want people thinking he didn't want to lower his value. Something else is going on that we're just not hearing about, because this is so funny. It's like almost like what's the word or phrase I'm thinking about? Not so much playing chicken, but it's like almost setting the league up like, no, I'm not gonna play. No, I don't. I'm not gonna. Okay, you convinced me. You twisted my arm. I'm gonna play.
I don't think he felt like he got his arm twisted. He just.
No. You're missing what I'm saying. You're missing it. Like, it's like I feel like he knew all along that he was gonna play. It was like he was almost like pretending like, hey, like, no, I don't want to play. Yeah, I don't want to play for the Packers. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Highest paid player. I don't know if I want that. Like,
are you
an extension?
Are you saying that Aaron Rodgers kayfabe the entire
That's
football world?
Thinking. That's what I'm thinking he did. I'm thinking he.
I mean, he is a wrestling fan.
He is, and he and an NBA champion now,
and the Jeopardy host too.
Exactly. So I'm thinking that it would be interesting to see exactly if he had any procedures done quietly. Maybe he just wanted to stay out of the limelight.
I mean, that became kind of hard when
it is
every
hard
other day he was talking about it.
Yeah, A-Rod.
Stating things that and this is what we keep talking about. Credibility with a lot of these beat writers is so important. Because
right.
You didn't hear from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, the horses, and horses don't even really speak like that.
If you didn't hear it from the actual source.
Sources can be wrong. HDMI 1, 2, you got to make sure you're on the right source. Anything else you want to throw out? Any other analogies you want to throw out there?
That being said, folks, Aaron Rodgers returning is, of course, big news if you're a Packers fan. Terrible news if you're a Bears fan. Of course, they got to see what's going to happen with their QB situation. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're not doing that just yet.
I believe the term will be his extension will be up until the end of this upcoming season.
Which they're going to try their best to keep him around. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you can't do anything but, let him play, right? Let him play. He's not going to sandbag it, right? He's going to go fully into the season, and he's going to go and try to win MVP. He's going to go for a Super Bowl. I think they'll be just fine. Honestly, I think the Packers should be more worried about losing Davante Adams than Aaron Rodgers, because
which those talks have ended.
Yes, exactly. So when you think about it, like if you lose Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers, then Jordan Love is in for a world of hurt. And as I alluded to a couple of weeks ago, I think once Aaron Rodgers is gone, if they lose Davante Adams, they'll have no choice but to either draft or sign one of the top wide receiving free agents. Like, they have no choice. Hopefully that's not Chris Godwin, right?
If Doc still gets his way next year, Tom Brady will step down and Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. Aaron Rodgers just steps in. It would be it would be poetry in motion. I would be so happy if that happened.
It'll be quite scumbaggy.
It would. Only reason I don't think it's going to happen is because I know we're high on
in that NFC South. If that was to happen,
no. And granted, I know that this doesn't sound, like anything, but I mean, I highly doubt it, because I really think that the Bucs have high hopes for Kyle Trask. So, I don't think they'll do it. They might. Obviously, they could. But I think they believe in Trask and what he can do. I'm always interested to see what happens when you're passing the torch. Obviously Brad Johnson to, I believe it was Bruce Gradkowski, or maybe Jeff Garcia. Like we did that in the past where we brought in a veteran and stayed with a veteran. So it would be interesting to say the least. But A-Rod is back. Never doubted him for a second. He knew he couldn't sit out no full year. I don't know why he tried to play games with us.
Well, I mean, him and Deshaun Watson is also returning to camp too.
Oh, Deshaun, you know what? Can we talk just briefly,
Sure.
Just a brief moment about sports and what we're considering trade value? Like, really quickly, can we just talk about trade value?
Sure.
Deshaun Watson's trade value is probably about this big, right? We're talking about 10 to 20 allegations deep, yet the Texans believe that it's this big. Like, I mean, why in the world would someone trade 3 first-round picks for a guy who may not be able to play?
This is true.
Why would you do that? Who would pay? Who would pay that ransom?
Yikes.
What team would be that desperate to say, you know what? We'll take that bet that he'll be able to play on. Like, that's crazy.
Now,
when you say do
we know if any of these? So it were police complaints about sexual misconduct, right? Like
several.
Okay, so did they change it to lawsuits?
That
and have they turned into active litigations?
No idea. It says 10 faces 10 police complaints. I don't know how that works. Do they go from complaints to lawsuits? Do they go from complaints
to investigations?
Right.
I don't think it's a lawsuit per se.
I just remember one girl saying that she had PSTD. She couldn't do her job anymore. Like, it was definitely stacking up. And I don't want to get back in like too deep into it, but I
Well,
just
because you
know
talked about
that,
his trade value. That's why I'm asking.
of course, but like, I mean, it was
because
like 18 to
because
20 against him.
Because we've seen players and
Mm-hmm.
their trade value go into the toilet
Into the toilet.
because they got charged.
We've seen it on multiple, not even just players. Obviously, we've seen it in wrestling. We've seen it in other sports. We've seen it in, entertainment.
But as of right now, we don't even know if there's any active litigations. All we know is there's complaints. I'm not condoning if he did it or not. I'm just stating, based off just allegations and a investigation that may or may not still be happening, because I haven't heard anything since then.
But when has allegations not led to a deplummeted value?
It depends on the person.
No.
It depends on the person.
I don't think so. I think
we literally just talked about a week ago the difference between an athlete doing something against the law and someone like a doc and prof doing something against the law.
Oh, I wouldn't have a show no more. Right? I probably wouldn't even be sitting here talking to you.
Okay. Like, come on.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, it's easy for him to be ousted. Like, just the complaints alone are a lot of general managers aren't going to want to touch just the allegations alone when you think about it. Depends, I guess, because remember the Seahawks player. I guess the Seahawks player, right? The whole thing in the summer. I guess it's something that we'll have to continue to watch. I was just thinking about not only this, but also, I know we talked about in basketball the Ben Simmons trade. His trade value, what people think the number one overall pick is, the value is. So I guess to me, the trade values, I wish were a little bit more realistic. They seem to be 2K-ish, Madden-ish.
I think they're trying to swing for the fences.
And
they should probably just settle for a double.
Just get on base, man. But let's move on. No. Let's move on. Speaking of the NBA, there was a trade which seemed to be pretty fair. This is what I'm talking about. A fair trade. Memphis finalizing a trade to send Valanciunas and the 2021 number 17 and 51 pick to New Orleans for Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, the number 10 and 40, as well as a 2022 first round pick via the Lakers to the New Orleans Pelicans. I said yesterday that I like Eric Bledsoe and Ja Morant, but I know Eric Bledsoe is like, I don't know if I want to play in Memphis. I don't know if I like Ja Morant. I don't know if that's where I want to be.
Did he say that part about Ja Morant, though?
Doc said it.
Okay.
Because that's the only thing. Like, that's the only thing I can take from it. It's like, hey, I don't want to be there. Why wouldn't you want to be there? Ja Morant's hot, right?
Well, I mean, if he can, he's probably excited to be able to play with Willie Green, who was coming in as a coach too. So there probably was that.
I mean,
fresh.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, because obviously Willie Green would have had to, and I don't want to throw him under the bus because he's, brand spanking, but I would hope, as I've seen with new coaches, that they have a hand in who their player personnel is. So maybe Willie Green didn't want to play with him. Maybe he doesn't fit Willie's play style, huh?
I think we're playing a game.
How's that novel Willie Green's been working on it?
I think we're playing a game of could he, would he. So
of course, I mean, but because that's all we have. Because, and honestly, this would all be speculation. Maybe Eric Bledsoe never said anything, and he'll be dang near happy to play for Memphis.
Well, I mean, if he wants to get bought out, that's a totally different story. Now he's like, well, I could probably just get bought out, and maybe that's his whole intention.
Maybe he wants to play for Maybe he wants to play for like I
The,
don't want to say a guaranteed contender, but maybe he had hopes to play for a higher contender, or he has a team or a bigger market that he wants to play for.
you mean like how, everyone and their grandmother is wanting the Lakers to get all these guards?
I didn't want to go there,
Oh no,
but
I
it's not
just
just guards.
stated
It's
that so we can
I
keep
mean,
going.
it's freaking everybody, and maybe Eric Bledsoe wants to join that fray, right? But let's not talk about that part. Let's talk about the Valanciunas portion of it because he
Yeah,
actually played
because
really
you are
well.
really hard on him.
I was. Well, number one, I felt like he couldn't help Memphis as much as they would have liked him to. And I like the Steven Adams portion. I think Steven Adams, if he stays on the Pelicans, is somebody, number one, that will help him rebound and improve the team defensively. I think as a third or fourth scoring option, which is something that they need. I think he's a really, really good player. This kind of is going to bring the Grizzlies into that OKC team where, they pretty much were in the Western Conference playoffs very, very often. They just might need to find some pieces to kind of help. So you'll have John Morant, you'll have one of my favorite players, Dylan Brooks. You still have Slow Mo, right? And then you still have some other players that who really complement John Morant, and I think Steven Adams would be good. That's why I think Eric Bledsoe going there would be kind of perfect. But at least they get Steven Adams as well as that number 10 pick, which is huge, moving up from 17 to number 10 and from 51 to 40. It's huge. Ginormous.
Yeah, yeah. The fact that Memphis was able to get up in this particular draft up to 10-40 is pretty incredible if you really think about it.
Yeah, I mean, moving up, and I think Valanciunas is an upgrade offensively over Steven Adams, so I can understand. I really feel like New Orleans overvalued Valanciunas, in my opinion. I think that Memphis definitely won the trade by a landslide. I think getting that number 10 pick, moving up, and I guess taking Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe. I think this is a complete and utterly 100% landslide of a victory for Memphis because Valanciunas again is aging, and I just don't know what the Pelicans were thinking when they did this. I don't know, but that's the trade. It's very interesting, to say the least. But we had some Olympic games yesterday, boy. So I got a chance to watch some. I was really, really impressed with. This is my first time ever watching this, by the way. Water polo. Um, I saw the American team beat China 11-7. I didn't know it was so intense. I might want to actually watch that on a regular basis because I was like, just the fact that they're swimming back and forth. Number one, they're treading water. They're throwing, balls. They're pretty much playing soccer in the water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is nuts. When they first thought about this, like, did anybody like stop and say, "Yo, this is crazy"? Like, this is nuts. But it's so awesome too. It's like shows true strength and just being able to swim back and forth. I don't even know. I didn't even count how many technical laps that they would have to do. There's four quarters. There's 4 quarters of swimming back and forth. There's penalties. There's fouls. There's jockeying for position where you're literally swimming and somebody's like pulling you down. Like it's nuts. But I got a chance to watch that yesterday. Also, as we talked about yesterday, the 3-on-3 basketball, which was pretty impressive. So it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate
Mm-hmm.
that all of this was, I will say, devalued by the news of Simone Biles withdrawing from competition. Like it was almost like the entire Olympics kind of got put on hold just for this very moment to announce that Simone Biles is withdrawn from the women's team. And it stinks because the R.O.C., which we're going to get to in a quick second here, both of the men's and women's played. I mean, I want to say played. I'm just going to say played extremely well in that gymnastics, that run. Like it was really good. I mean, and again, I'm not a gymnastics expert, but I never really paid attention to people landing on the lines and not, like I never paid attention to those things until last night when I saw the men's team for the USA land on the line, not once, but 2 times, landing them in, I believe, 5th place. But I mean, really quickly, the R.O.C. winning gold in both the men and women.
The R.O.C., the controversial team of these Olympics. For those that don't know what R.O.C. is, and no, we're not talking about The Rock. Shout out to both Dwayne and Z. The R.O.C. stands for Russian Olympic Committee. Now, for those that are very, very much aware of Olympic news, you would find this curious because why do I see the name Russian in the Olympics this year? Because obviously they got banned. They shouldn't be here, right? So remember how I said the IOC is corrupt, Doc?
Right.
Exhibit A.
So they're saying, so I guess this is like, obviously they were banned for, I guess it was substance abuse or
doping. Yep.
Doping. So they're saying,
in fact, it was at 2 separate Olympics. One 2014 and then the Paralympic game, which is like even worse. That's like, yikes.
So there's obviously, I would hope that they wouldn't get caught for the same thing again. That would just be too much for us all to handle, right? If they, even as the R.O.C. decided to do the illegal substances. But I guess the penalty is that, of course, they can't show their Russian flag. And it says here, of course, per se, they're not representing their country. But obviously, they're representing their country.
Of course. In fact, after they won gold, they were saying Russia.
Right. Just so rough. But
of course, the IOC actually reduced their ban to 2 years. But even still, they will still be competing under the R.O.C. flag. So, of course, the actual flag for them is not of the Russian flag. It is the Olympic logo with 3 flames coming up that has the Russian colors.
I see. Yeah, I see. Which is, I mean, it's cool that they at least get a chance because, I don't like the fact that, everybody gets penalized for the few, right? It's not every game that there was doping. Maybe they should have just been eliminated. Maybe Russia should have just been eliminated from those games in which they were penalized. I mean, because you think about it, every country has a game. Unless are you about to tell me that they doped in every game?
Yeah, they won a lot of medals in those games that they got caught in. They had the most medals.
I mean, would it reduce them to like 3 games or something? Like,
I don't know if it'll be reduced down to 3. I like the fact that they just went hard and banned the whole country as a whole. But them doing this is just a slap in the face. What was the point of all this if you're just going to allow them to do it underneath a different one? Because so I didn't know if you had a chance to check out the whole story about it. And I believe there was a movie created in regards to it. But one of the doctors that was part of this whole thing had to refugee himself over to America. Yeah, it was huge because there's like 2 other doctors that got killed.
Oh God.
Yeah. Who knew the Olympic Games lead to like mafia hits? I'm not saying it's mafia. I'm just throwing it out.
No, I get it.
Plus, I don't want to get in trouble with the Russian mafia either.
Yeah, you don't want to do anything like that. But at the end of the day, nobody cares about this because Simone Biles withdrew from the women's team.
And that's the problem.
I mean, nobody cares about any of that other stuff.
I mean, no one wants to talk about the aproposness of the U.S. Olympic women basketball team beating the Nigeria team that we just got finished talking about.
We did. Yep, we did. No, I didn't hear anything about that.
Exactly.
So I would just tell people to just watch it, man. Like, it's really good. Don't just watch your favorite. Watch some new games. I actually got a chance to watch skateboarding. That was pretty intense.
I enjoyed the fact that we had another first in the Philippines. They won their first ever gold medal.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. I saw a 13-year-old girl from freaking Brazil, really compete in that skateboarding event.
There was a 12-year-old girl who was playing table tennis.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like there are so many games that we can really get into, and I think we should support them all. You never know; we might find, a new hero. We're just waiting for 2030 when, esports becomes a Olympic game, which I'm laughing about. But
I'm like, don't even laugh about that. It's happening.
I believe it's going to happen. We'll just have to see what game will make it to.
Like, we got handball, we got rhythmic gymnastics. Rowing is now something. Sailing is something, which is the more competitive side of it. Now we have skateboarding in there, which technically the X Games kind of started there.
X Games, yeah.
We got table tennis. We got trampolining.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Heck, I don't even know if we actually had wrestling start yet.
I believe it might have. I would have to look again. I believe it did. Let me go back to the schedule. I got it right here. Let's go down to wrestling. Where are you, wrestling? Get out the way. Actually, I don't. Serious versus judo.
It's not starting until Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, which they have two different styles. They have, for men's, it's Greco-Roman, and for women, it's freestyle.
So it should be fun. I mean, it should be one of those things that we get a chance to.
So, for those that are interested in it,
you
should check it out.
Absolutely. But speaking of checking out, I know you heard this podcast on your favorite podcast platform. If you didn't, you can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com to check out this episode as well as all of our previous. Be sure to tune in Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we go over news, analysis, and the reads.
Doc Lisa, here comes the pain.